Good evening. Good evening. How are you doing tonight? Good to see you all in here. Mr. Iron Golem. Ooh, cheeseburger. Ooh, I'd like a cheeseburger. How you doing tonight? Astro Pix, good to see you. Tolkien Otaku, hello, hello. Welcome. Good to see you. Josh Kovac, hello. Welcome. Thank you very much for joining in today. How are you doing? How did you find us? Good to see you all in here tonight. It is Saturday evening. My name is Tom. I am the Astro Canuck, and we are doing some astro image processing tonight. And oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, I have no idea how to work with Pixinsight at this point. Um, I'm going in here completely forgetting how to set up a workflow in Pixinsight. This is going to be slightly interesting, and probably those who have a very good grasp on Pixinsight, it's just going to be absolutely infuriating. So, two options will be to either pick some data that we know is good and stack that up and try to get some kind of image, or used already stacked data and try to go from there. We'll see. Maybe we'll have a bit of a choice of what we're going to do. But good to see y'all in here tonight. Glad to have you in. It's been an interesting 24 hours since we last were streaming. And more so, actually, it's like all behind the scenes things, trying to get everything working with the stream, but also checking out what has been going on as of late with the podcast. It took you a while, but it's well worth it. I agree. It is completely worth it because what I got out of the image that I've had before, it was night and day essentially. But it was the way how I processed the Rosette Nebula in Photoshop, and then the same data set put into Pixinsight. Like the colors were so incredibly accurate, and it just looked like worlds better so much sooner in the processing time. But yeah, we had the podcast, the astrophotography podcast, with Steve from Ontario Telescope and Accessories. That is our podcast there, or at least that is the podcast I appeared on, and it was really, really, really fun talking with Steve. And I look forward to speaking with him again because there's a lot of things we talked about before and after we recorded the podcast, and it was like, well, I think we got to come back and do this again. There's so much more to talk about. You shoot one-shot color, and Pixinsight allows you to strip out the two bands and replicate Hubble-type images. See, that's what I'm looking forward to as well. And we have now we're going to have three distinct, well, I guess three filters. Two are completely separate from one another, and the other two are fairly similar. So we have our tri-band filter from Altair Astro. We have the Optilong L Pro, and coming in the mail, I would assume early next week, will be the Optilong L Extreme. Now, do we really need the L Extreme in a Bortle 3 sky? The short answer, yes. Long answer, yes, because I'd like to isolate certain wavelengths. And as much as cool as it is to have a lot of the accuracy, the consistent star color, it is also, now that we're delving into Pixinsight and we can strip out and really isolate those color bands or the wavelengths of light, then there's some really cool things we can do with it. And with the monochrome 533 on the horizon, that's another bit of kit that we're saving up for, that we're budgeting to. I get the link to Easy Processing suite. The denoise is amazing. Is that something is that a plugin with Pixinsight, or because I've been using the Topaz denoise AI, and that's been working out pretty well. But if there's other programs out there that are doing what has kind of has begun, I guess, a couple of years ago now, how much things have changed and improved. It's very interesting to see what's coming up. And also, is the Where can I go to find Pixinsight plugins aside from, I guess, Google? That's a plugin. Easy processing suite, Pixinsight forum. I've seen some results from StarNet version 2, and that looks very, very nice. So is this the page you're mentioning about? I use Topaz for normal photography. Oh, good, good. No, no answers. This is it. 30 seconds. Ask me any question. No. Use Topaz for normal photography. Works pretty nice, but not always, but 95% of the time. But it's pretty, 95 is pretty great. Excellent. Good. Good. I mean, no, it's not. Oh, and we're at a potato. What's going on, Orion? Gothbox. Good to see you both in here today. How is your weekend going? Good to have you in here. And we're back to the mustache. No, okay. This mustache is going to stay for a while. Are there other Pixinsight repositories for plugins besides the 4 popular ones? I would be interested to find this out. Let's also get this mustache away. We're done with this mustache. Oh, and we're into a potato. We're back to a potato here. This one. Did the people of Atlantis have astronomy unlocked? No. No, they didn't. What's going on, Sacramoon? How are you doing? Wonderful to see you in here. Matt, Fluffy Gamer, what's going on, Matt? How are you doing? AZ, what's going on? AZ Pinoy, how are you doing today? Good to see you. Is going? Excellent. Are you're trying to learn how to host your own repo? Are you reprocessing, or are you the repo man? So this will be the first time with a little bit of image processing in a while. Enjoying your day off? Excellent. Very, very good. All right, you're off to bed, but you got an Instagram. Yes, I will be. There are going to be a lot of people I'm going to be asking. I appreciate it. Have a very good one, AstroPix. We'll see you soon. You're supposedly cleaning your PC work area. Are you just creating more of a mess? Is that all that's going on right now? I mean, I'm trying to maintain a clean desk right now. Leaning heavily to supposedly. Because you start cleaning up, it's like, oh, what's this? Oh, I haven't seen this in a while. Oh, cleaning this up, and oh, this thing's broken. Let's put these pieces back together. That's pretty much always the case, right? Like I'm very surprised at how well I've managed to keep things cleaned up after we deorbited the space shuttle. There's a couple of boxes lying around. Yesterday we did do a Lego reveal. We did reach a new stretch goal. So we do have a new set to that I can freely talk about. And it won't be tomorrow's build. But we do have the Monkey Kid, whoever the devil Monkey Kid is, but they have a spaceship, a galactic explorer. So this will be one of our future builds, and it looks I love the colors in it. This is a incredibly colorful set. A bit of a little over to left field from what we usually do, at least in terms of like a color palette. But this one's gonna be fun. I got some ideas of what I want to do for some channel point redeems on the day, but that'll be one of ours. He's going to ask if you're able to find most of all the pieces. I think I have like all the pieces. You know, this is what we have. I mean, the Hubble isn't too bad, but you know, the front fell off. It's not supposed to do that. but otherwise everything else was seemingly easy to find. But I think I still haven't shuffled through this. I haven't taken the time to really get through the tray of extra pieces. There's a lot of cat hair. I don't think that's part of the building set, but maybe we'll call it a bonus. But it was, yeah. I'm almost done the YouTube video, but I do have the slow motion for you guys to watch. Those of you may be faint of heart or easily, I don't know, easily throw up. I don't know what. Look away, but watch. I mean, it still felt like a very, very epic drop. I'm not. This was the best shot that we had. This camera over here that you can see, somebody, not naming who, but somebody hit a button and it didn't record. Well, actually, it did record. But the camera was pointed the wrong way. But there's your sneak preview. Those who are watching tonight, you get to take a look at the shuttle in its glory from one of the best camera angles. And I gotta say, next time, if there is a next time with something like this, we will be better prepared with the cameras. Now, the next build, the next thing we got going on, we actually have a mystery goal. This will be going on for the remainder of the month, so it won't just be a smash it goal for tomorrow's build, but it is a mystery goal that we have leading up. Actually, it'll expire on we'll say just before the Sunday stream of the subathon stream. So we'll, like I said, over the course of next week, I'll give you guys some more details of what we're going to be doing for the birthday subathon, which is going to be in March. Do you download these color masks for Pixinsight? Ooh, well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I don't know how to utilize them at the moment, but I appreciate it. What's going on, Aaron? How are you doing? I posted a after processing version in general photography with the Topaz AI. Good to see y'all in here today. Hopefully everybody's having a wonderful Saturday. See, I do enjoy the denoise AI. It is really nice. So there's your before, and I love how much it doesn't look over processed at all. That's what there have been there have been a couple of deep space images that I've tried with, and when you have too much noise in your image and you're mixing it with stars, sometimes it doesn't do that great of a job. But yeah, that is fantastic. So there's many tools available for those who are doing some astrophotography and utilizing things for terrestrial photography as well. And it's from a JPEG. You're not even using a raw file or anything. I think there are times it's not so much that like there's still work that you need to do in denoise. Sometimes you can get the settings like bang on right away, and it feels like it is absolute magic. Other times, yeah, it doesn't always. It needs a little bit of tweaking. But yeah, let's also while we're here, let's give some people some shout outs here because there are some amazing people who have joined in today. And always want some other people to discover some new people out here. Maybe you haven't checked someone out, Go drop some follows out there. Go check out some new people. And that's what we always like to do. Tonight's raid target, I have no idea what we're going to do. We're like 20 minutes in. But I think I wanted to try to find somebody new tonight. Or if someone is someone that we know is doing something absolutely incredible, then we'll join them in over there as well. But you know what? It's always cool to find somebody new and also to maybe revisit someone who we haven't seen in a while, just seeing the progress that people have been making. Um, you'll talk astronomy on your stream sometimes as well. Beautiful. And it's also just not even sticking into one specific subject in the sense that try to keep things fresh, try to keep some different ideas flowing. And it, Matt, thank you very much for that one there. Page 45. Lars, no worries for the shout out as well. Trying to check out some more people. You're planning to build the ISS next week. Ooh. Um, anything from the build you have like that was great. For the ISS, I enjoyed that one, and I probably would have almost enjoyed it more if I did split those streams up. um, and just to savor it. I think 8 hours. I know, Lars, that you built the space shuttle in a single 13-hour stream. Um, but that was incredible as well to see that amount of effort going into that whole set. Science and games, what's going on, Ben? How you doing? Good to see you in here as well. How are things? How was your Saturday turning out? Turned out. Turned. Is your Saturday turned? Is that what kids say? Yeah, Matt, page 45. Page 45 on yeah, Nori Kitty was 47. Now, did we read this one? No. No, we did, because it would have been. It would have had the little tag over it. After the space shuttle, you suspect the ISS will be peanuts. Not even kamikaze pepper nuts. just some regular salted nuts. Just been a lazy day, not much going on. Those are important as well. We got to have our lazy days every now and then and not feel guilty about it either. And know that you feel recharged afterward. So from Tim Peake, Ask an Astronaut. Who was the first person to greet you on the ISS when you opened the hatch? Once we had successfully docked to the space station, it took nearly 2.5 hours to pressurize the docking port, complete leak checks, place the Soyuz into hibernation mode, change into our flight suits, and prepare for the hatch opening. During this time, there was quite a bit of communication going on between Yuri and the Russian crew on the space station. Sergei Volkov and Misha Koronenko, since many of these checks had to be coordinated. However, at some point in the process, a familiar New Jersey accent came over the radio. ISS Commander Scott Kelly welcomed us to space and then casually asked what we would like for dinner. Scott had rummaged through some of our bonus food containers and had picked out a few items he was going to put in the food warmer to be ready for hatch opening. Having just lived through my first rocket launch, rendezvous, and an adrenaline-filled docking, it suddenly felt like I had come all the way simply to place an order at a drive-thru. I asked Scott for a bacon sandwich and couldn't help but smile. How bizarre the whole situation felt. Shortly afterward, the hatch opened, and Sergei, Mishka, and Scott, in that order, were there to welcome us aboard with huge grins to begin our 6 months of life and work on the International Space Station. Before we explore life and the work on the ISS in more detail, we're going to go back a bit to examine the training to become an astronaut. What does it really take to have the right stuff? For today's missions to space, you might be surprised. I like that one. Just comparing it to a drive-through. Can you ask a question for which you don't know the page? What's that one? You did a stop motion video building the Tantive 4. Really? That's cool. Is it? Do you have a link to that? You can post it on our Discord if you'd like. I always like to see some cool things on there. What does it cost to call home? Ooh, that's interesting. Ooh, Aha! None of that. We're safe. All right. We're safe for now until the next time it becomes available. Yeah, there you go, Matt. Thank you very much for that redeem. Into the book you go for all time until the paper biodegrades. But appreciate that. Oh, very cool. You can just hear Benny yelling, "Spaceship, spaceship." I dig it. I will leave that up. That's cool. Very good. We are, like I said, we for tomorrow's build for our Lazy Sunday Lego stream. We haven't quite announced what we're going to be building yet, but we do know that right now that we have a mystery goal for the remainder of the month, leading up until the birthday subathon, and maybe we'll drop some more clues throughout the week of what this possibly might be. Now, last time there was the goal, and when we reached that for other bits, it was to smash the Lego set. I promise that nothing is going to be destroyed at the end if we reach the end of this one. There's no destruction in this. You realize after the first night that piece by piece would take forever. So I had, what did I do? I built the Lego Trevi fountain a few years ago, and it took me like quadruple the time to build it because after every step, I took a picture of it, and then I foolishly posted it to Imager, and like everybody just kind of on the whole thing because there's like 185 images, and ain't nobody got time for that. I did the sub assemblies off stream. Yeah, like the tedious parts, like when you're kind of like for pieces like this, you don't need to watch like the whole portion of that. I wonder where that piece went. It's just plunk it down there. Uh, Get 27 snaps. Let's see. So there are some things that we're going to get for. Oh boy. I think there's a great deal of things to look out for in Pixinsight, but we'll jump into that in a little bit. I gotta also want to figure out what images we're going to process as well. Again, will it be something to stack? Actually, I got to see if even do I have the file I was thinking of, because that might actually change the progress of what we're going to process. You're doing about 4 hours per night. You think it was about 4 or 5 nights, and just something like that. That's also a nice little project, and a nice little passion project as well. Years and years ago, years and years and years, I had my brother and I made some stop motion with Lego, but before the oh, I snaps. Those snaps. The Snapture. What did I put a cooldown on that one? How long? Not a long enough cooldown time. Oh, not dang. I wasn't even twigging on what that was, what you're saying. That's what it was. I'm thinking snaps, like bricks. No. All right, so we are one and one tonight for the snapture. I've been dusted once, I've been saved once. I should probably put a count on that as well. What's going on, Alex? How are you? Pulled myself together. Yes, it was just by fortuitousness of somebody gathering all the rest of the Infinity Stones again. Good to see you. How's your weekend going? I have my recollection of what I did for Pixinsight, and I think I spent the better part of like a week watching step-by-step videos. And for the life of me, I don't even remember where to start with Pixinsight. So it's going to be interesting. A little bit of interesting image processing tonight. Not bad. Hating the street exhibition in your town. Really? What are they? What are they? What are they exhibiting? Pixinsight is a hell of a learn. Okay, What's easier, Pixinsight or Elite Dangerous? Which one has a shorter learning cliff? I always learn something new, then completely forget how to make it work in the next image. I felt like that as well. Like I've been using Photoshop for quite a long time, so a lot of the tools within it, I know what they are meant to do. Pixinsight, the names of some of these things. What's going on, Caleb? You'll be home in 30 minutes. You'll help then. I appreciate it. You never played Elite Dangerous, so no idea. Okay, Pixinsight or getting your mount to work properly. Oh yeah, Kajad, welcome in. Good to see you. How are things? Howdy, howdy, howdy. Elite is simultaneously easy and hard. I feel that. We will be doing a Elite Dangerous stream we're aiming for the 22nd of February. And that'll be an early afternoon stream for me. Later in the evening for Nori Katie, who's joining us. A little bit of a simulcast stream for that one. However, people are welcome to join in. And I think it'll be a fun thing to try out. Not bad. Just got a shower, heated up dinner leftovers. What are you eating for dinner? Now refusing to put on clothes. Well, you guys know at least I have a shirt on. That's about it. There's no reason to see my feet or anything today, so we're not smashing any Lego sets. And even with our cameras, you can't see. You can see my keyboard covers up. You played Elite for years, still managed to slam into a planet's surface when entering the atmosphere. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that would work as well for me. Same thing would happen. It's called Spectra. It's a light and sound sculpture exhibition. It draws massive crowds, lots of traffic, who all want to see the exhibits. I'm a biker, so there's lots of idiots in metal boxes rushing around, staring at pretty lights and not paying attention to the road. Ooh, okay. Yeah, that's tough. Hopefully things work out. That there's without incident. And how long does this exhibition last for? Is it cool though? Or otherwise, if there wasn't for all of the people mucking about, roommate gets home soon, so you don't have much of a choice. Relish in your glory for now. But no, it is. I'm trying to think what was like the last kind of exhibition I had gone to. It definitely has been a while. No one deserves that without warning. You need like an air horn or something like that, just to let them know. Just give a little bit of a toot. Maca Builds, what's going on? How are you doing? Good to see you in here. How's your weekend going? Oh boy, we are exactly. I scream, you scream, we all just continually scream. How you doing? Why not? Good to see you. Um, I actually came up in your stream earlier. Oh, really? All crazy things, I hope. It's pretty and interesting, but there's a better light show above us, points at the stars. Boom. Oh, it's regarding the moment the Lego went boom. Well, I do have a preview that I've been kind of sharing throughout the night of the before the YouTube video is released. I'm aiming for tomorrow. It's like I filmed the intro. I just need to make sure everything flows nicely. But yeah, it's yeah. You guys, those who are in tonight, you get the slow mo. I found out that all your pre-processing on M42 is bogus. Oh no! What's the Actually, no. I was gonna say, Alex, what's the exhibition called? But if you don't want to mention where you are, that's cool. But no, this is the slow motion. Those are my feet, not my feet right now. My socks have not stripes on them. Where is the volume? It's about as loud as it goes. Eh? It was just an epic smash, and it was very satisfying. I did not know how things were going to go, and it was just whoop. There is a slower version, and even it's the same angle, but just slowed down a lot more in the YouTube video. So that should be out. Aiming for like tomorrow because there's other things I need to get done. But it was I feel as crazy as it was. I gotta say it was very satisfying for what happened. But also, if you guys want to check out Macabell, another Lego streamer out there. Go drop them a follow. Go check out their streams. Go say hello. Do I have I think exclamation YT. Well, you're most welcome. Happy to share communities around because there's always going to be something different that people are going to want to see. But I believe it should be exclamation point YT should bring up the YouTube link. Or it is youtube.com/astrocanuck. So we'll aim to get that out tomorrow. Like I said, I think I got everything I wanted to say on the View Gotcha Video page. Cool, excellent, thank you, I appreciate that. We have reached the 100 subscriber threshold on YouTube. So now we're able to get our custom URL because that other one was just nobody's going to remember numbers and letters in random orders. So the next goal eventually is to reach 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. And that's going to be a bit of a trek. And I feel like now with this video going out, I'm getting a better idea of, well, I know these videos are only going to start to improve. This first video I'm going to be putting out, it is not going to be the absolute best kind of thing. However, hopefully it should be interesting enough. It is fairly concise. It's not an exceedingly long video, but I think it is it's kind of just cool to watch a Lego set smash. A Lego set, it wasn't yours. I will do the hard things for the enjoyment. And if it means smashing a Lego set, we'll do it. The next goal, however, isn't going to be a smashing goal. Well, at least they're not going to be breaking anything. It may be smashing. It is a bit of a mystery right now, but we'll talk more about that in the coming weeks of what we're going to be doing. With Kajad, about you had to reprocess M42. What had happened with the Orion Nebula? Did the data not stack correctly, or what had happened? So one thing I did get fixed. You wanted to drizzle it and realize you also screwed up the alignment and registration. Oh. Having a bunch of different lights and temperature. Ooh, yeah, the temperature is. See, we with some of our images that we have taken here, and for the live stack with the dark frames being the wrong temperature, it totally messed everything up. In terms, this is not a mucked up image. A good example is it this one? No, there was more of a red tone to everything. Yeah, this was it. So when we were taking these images, nothing seemed to look right. Like there was this overarching red tone to things. Pardon me. Pixinsight is great with its pre-processing script. You just got to register them all together. See, when you take your subframes and you take your calibration frames, they do need to be at the for your darks, need to be at the same temperature. Otherwise, it's not going to exclude the right pixels. It's not going to look correct. So instead of having an image that was like this, which what it should have been, we were using the wrong dark frames and just absolutely everything looked wrong. So lesson learned. And you have the correct matching temperatures. See, I always found that difficult when I was working with this camera. I just can't shove them all together. It's got to be, you gotta finesse everything, right? You got to do all the calibration separately, manually ish. I guess that's the other thing is what I did with a previous image with the part of the Heart Nebula. I just threw everything in together, and I don't think we got the best looking image out of things. Actually, where is I have I guess a fairly decent example of what we did all willy nilly versus taking it at least into Astro Pixel processor. There is there's this version of the Heart Nebula that I know we could have done better. This is a stack of narrow band and broadband images in Deep Sky Stacker. I just threw them all together and just said, go. Overall, not too bad, but I think there's more dark areas than there should be in this patch of nebulosity, also for the amount of time that I had on here. How much time did we put? We had it was 15 hours. And I feel like for a 15-hour image, this wasn't doing it justice. Your first attempt actually came out great after utilizing the respective flats and darks for the correct temperatures. It's just a matter of starting over. Well, at least it was. What was it with Astro Caleb? His everything just kind of conked out midway through, so it's restarting things. And sometimes it is Yoda. Yoda ate my what? I got no idea there, but to be honest, you're running your stuff on a pretty beefy computer. So hopefully everything works out. Yeah, welcome in, Yoda. Into the stream, you are welcomed. Thank you for joining us. So all of your registration, alignment, etc. doesn't take long comparatively. I feel like when we did our stack in AstroPixel Processor, it didn't take that long. Or at least I felt there has been other integration times that take a lot longer. But I think I had saved a bit of the data from here. Where's my... Because we did do a quick stack with an APP the last weekend with these files. And how did it turn out? Now the next question is, where did I save it to? Because it must have done something. Hello, Bobo. Hello, Bobo. How are you? Welcome. Glad to have you in here today. What is it's 2020 was that date of that file. 2022. Oh, I didn't save any. I have the FITS files for what we stacked last week. I guess I'd have to open up APP to save that as a TIFF. Yes, welcome into the stream. How you doing tonight? We are usually taking live images of outer space, or at least we'd like to. But at the moment, it is not favorable. I don't see any clouds out there. We were forecast to have all the clouds, as well as maybe a bit of snow. This is ridiculous. Why are we starting to see stars? Also, it is 7:48 p.m. Now it's not. We do have we're coming into a full moon, so that is actually, you can see the shadows on the ground. Not immediately in front of the trees, the long shadows on the trees. That moon, we are almost at 100% full moon right now. Even with 13 gigabytes of data ish, hopefully it gets sorted out though. I think it's clear where you are as well. Deceptively clear. Hopefully we see clouds rolling in the next little bit. We are in southwestern Ontario. We have very dark skies where we live. And when we do a full moon, it is insurmountably more difficult to start getting any decent images because we have a nice fresh blanket of snow. We have we're at a 78% full moon at the moment. So when you are trying to take images, a nice comparison of going after this target during a full moon and with the exact same filter going after it when there is no moon, when we have a new moon in phase, you get better data. You can take longer images. You can take you can take your time with your image. You're not rushing through anything to try to at least get the data gathered up before the moon really starts to impact your images. Or you could probably try a narrowband filter. We were shooting in broadband. Going after a reflection nebula during a full moon, not exactly the smartest thing to do. However, it's also good to show examples of what not to do, or at least other ways that you can try to improve your imaging. And using a narrowband filter would have been a better idea to cut out a little more of the light pollution that is caused by the reflections of the moon as well. But the weather has been bad now. The moon is back. Decent skies are here and there. I might go after M81. M81 is a great target. It has been... Actually, there you go. We have Image Bodes Nebula and the Cigar Galaxy as well. But again, during a full moon, or at least during a brighter phase of the moon, it's difficult to go after a lot of these targets, especially if you're not using the proper filters. Trying to be a little ambitious didn't always work out for the best. And don't look at my donuts. Don't look at my donuts. Those could all be easily calibrated out with flats if we took flats. Now I do have a data set on the ASI Air, which I haven't pulled off, which I haven't downloaded yet, and that is for M106. But what I thought was going to be a you wanted donuts, but they're high in fat, and you can't do that at the moment. Thanks, Pancreas, you point of sale. How dare it? Although, to be fair, I haven't had a donut in quite a while, so pancreas or not, solidarity with no donuts. But I think next time, see, looking at the weather, like it is. Once we can do star parties, donuts, actual donuts, not like motes of dust on there on the telescope. No, we don't want that. So I was checking out the weather, and it was saying, it was showing that we had some clouds rolling through. Like this is our area to be concerned of, or to be concerned with. Now, how long it shows that there's clouds. Aren't donuts just lots of motes of delicious cosmic dust? Now, as long as it is dust and not like a little tiny plip of bird poop, then that's just gross. Okay, so right now it's forecasting that we have some cloud coverage, but out there it says otherwise. Someone say donuts. How you doing, Bill? Welcome. Good to see you. I think your bees may have been doing a lot of pooping today. Does that count? Possibly. You've been having some trouble with flats in the ASI Air. There may be a helpful tip for matching up flats to lights if you don't properly mark the session of each. I am probably the worst person to ask about flats. However, which ASI Air are you running? Original, Pro, or Plus? Your bees are actually alive, warm enough for them they're out and flying. You aggressively name the hell out of your files. You put dates, exposure time, gain, offset, temperature, and file names. With the ASI Air, it'll do that as well. Like you can be very, very specific. The problem with the ASI Air is the data can all live on the device for so long you forget what matches. And that's no, I'm guilty of this too. I am severely guilty of not doing a great job of organizing my files. Now, I know there are other people who will download all their images and they will drop them in a file, and they're very, very regimented with that. I will keep them on there for a while, download them all, because it is like the night of clear skies. It's a nice session to be imaging, and it's just get them all on the computer, put them in a file, sort out later, and then they kind of sit there for a while. You can do some of that in the EKOS, but not things like temps in the file names. You explicitly put like everything you can think of in file names, so you can easily match calibration subs to the lights. You got a Pixinsight script that can inject the data. Ooh. Interesting. See, I think there is a great deal of things that can be done with Pixinsight that I would have liked to have done with Photoshop. So this is the learning process that we're going to be. You guys are kind of going along with me on this one. Welsh boy, Tracker, how you both doing tonight? You saw a video on YouTube where they built hives in water jugs. Would it just be to take out the bottom, let the honey drip out? Injects fits headers into your files. Going to start using that to mark sessions. See, I will. One thing I do like about the ASI Air is that at least it will for the at least for the imaging sessions, they will put them into the named files. When I was running AP or astrophotography tool years ago, I had to make sure that I was making the right files. Otherwise, it was just that night's session. And sometimes I would kind of do my own just touring around, and things didn't like there are files around here that I know are completely jumbled up and probably some okay data sitting in there that I just haven't sorted through. Like there is terabytes of images sitting between like three different computers. And it's like, okay, if I start to take the time to sort that out, then what do we forget to do later, you know? You're tired? Well, I am. I'm not too bad overall, but hey, um, good to see you in here, though. Hopefully, it is just a long, long day of exhaustion. The vertical jugs vid you sent 2 weeks ago, he had the limited space to find. You find of his. Ooh, I remember that. I do remember that. I am very far behind on TV. I can't even begin to tell you how far things are in YouTube. Like my watch list is. It's telling you just watch it. Don't save them. Just watch them. Are you doing lights and flats by targeting the date them with the target holder, then darks and bias by temperature and date? What am I using for storage? You've been using. You thinking about resurrecting an old Blade server to be at NAS? It is just a couple of hard drives and like other computers. I'm trying to remember where all these files are. I did buy a 5 terabyte hard drive a while back. Got like a super deal on it with Amazon. It was like £89. I think for like 5 terabytes. Can't go wrong with that. There's a pretty weird folder structure in your external HDD. Yeah. Yeah, see? There, look, I'm halfway. I was halfway through it. Unless that is no, dang it. That's not the one that I was watching. And you had the time set to that point. The hair was thinking, oh yeah, we were like halfway through it. No. But that's interesting. With ASI Air, you wish ASI Air would allow you to put custom fits headers in within the app. That'd be good. So how do they encourage them to go to utilize the? Is it just a kind of any enclosure that bees will take over? Resource on what they'll make into a home. See, I haven't gotten to this. I in terms of learning how. I guess well, we're not going to be building any hives anytime soon at the moment, but it'd be interesting to see next time when springtime, summertime rolls around when the beekeepers are coming around a little more frequently. Definitely like to see more of what is involved with all this. I haven't had to do any extractions yet, but you've seen them in underground water meters. Really? The file name customization is still limited. See, that's why at least when you're doing your auto run session, at least you can at least have your preface, your prefix with all your images, not just your target. So maybe even what I'll try to do moving forward is to include even more data in that portion because yeah, they'll be able to save the. You can pick what information is put on the end, but to be as specific as possible, especially you are when you're being diligent and actually maintaining your subframes. You're making hand wavy motions at this. I like the. You think the idea of putting random buckets of honeybees in the woods is kind of. Honeybees aren't native, so you're introducing competition randomly to native species, foraging areas, and as well as potential diseases. Plus, you can't actually do any inspections of the jar hives. No, because the way how they have the hives set up, they're like on these blocks where you can easily separate them and do a bit of the more of an inspection. Because this would this be any good either, or I don't know. I really I am. We're very new to beekeeping, so I'm trusting that the beekeeper who has the hives on our property that we'll kind of get a little more attuned to what's going on. And it's neat for maybe just encouraging feral hives to move in. So are there times that, like, I know that sometimes you'll get the bees will migrate away from the hive and start to swarm elsewhere. So they're saying they need to move the hives to encourage them to, I guess, uh, breed within those hives. Be more interested in making habitats for native species. We're trying to do, with there's quite a bit of space out here, and we're trying to do more to encourage other wildlife to show themselves. We had some deer, we had some coyotes come in the backyard, show up in the backyard, and yeah, just being able to encourage them to show up more often and just capture some footage of them. Not really. You can sort of emulate a swarm by doing what's called a split. So how would you execute that? Not that I'm going to run off and just try to reorganize the hives, which isn't going to happen. And it requires actively taking the current queen and a bunch of brood and workers and just moving her to another box while leaving the eggs, young brood, and lots of workers behind. Would they still know what to do? They'll make emergency queens to replace her. So isn't taking the queen out isn't going to be. It's not guaranteed success for the crew, is it? It's called a walkaway split. All right, well, check that out. All right, I've clicked at the moment. I've clicked on Pixinsight. Oh, peas and rice. Pixinsight software activation. What are my details? Stop running around your Bigfoot costume, and other animals will start coming around. I should get a Bigfoot costume. They can make a queen out of any of those, but you usually want to split strong hives. Would there be a necessity to do that at all? Or is it just, I mean, if you're splitting a weak hive, is there any benefit to doing that? All right, let's see if I can find my Pixinsight info. Are there telltale signs? I guess if you notice that they're swarming, how do you know if they're thinking about swarming? Do you kind of like just knock on the hive and say, "What you guys up to? What's the latest buzz?" They make queen cells even with the existing queen there. It's actually something you have to watch for early in summer. Interesting. There's so many cool things to learn about. Enigma Gal, hello, how you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to see you. They make queen cells in different places on the frames based on what they're trying to accomplish, usually. So how would you be able to? Is a queen cell significantly larger than the regular ones? Yeah, Nick Miguel. Hopefully everything is going well with you today. Hopefully you're having a nice weekend thus far. All right, where is my info for Pixinsight? That's AstroPixel processor. No. Emergency queen cells are usually in the middle of the frames, and they are huge, hard to miss. All right. Well, I'll have to inquire about that. We got snow. We warmed up, but we dropped to we're minus 16 Celsius right now. It says it's mostly clear, and that's fairly annoying because if this is going to maintain, then we could have had the telescope out tonight. Lots of info on YouTube University. I think we will definitely start delving deeper into, I guess, beekeeping as when the spring and summer roll in. When we'll be a little more involved with the keepers as they come around. All right, let's see if we can get the user identifier. A whole bunch of numbers. Let's do that. Their activation code for Microsoft Windows. A whole bunch of letters and numbers. And I think let's see if this is going to a system temporary folder is being used for storage of image swap files. Beware. May be deleted automatically. Yeah, that's fine. You have 3 Pixinsight updates. Please click here. Yes, let's do that. Let's see if this works to stream. You just gear up to go spend time with whomever is managing the hives. I mean, it looked really cool. They didn't have any spare covers, but I also wouldn't have been comfortable doing that at that time. If anything, I would just inquire how much it is just to have my own. Not that I would do it when they're not there, but just to have my own equipment. So you don't usually have to wear a veil or anything. So you just gear up as much as they want to. See, I would put on a suit of armor the first time out. But again, that's just me. I'd imagine as long as even when like I said, the first time we encountered the our beekeepers, they came around and eventually like a couple of bees landed on them, and because they already have like honey and pollen on their suits already, that you notice they would fly away, and then a few more bees would come around, and then 20 minutes into the conversation with them, we were just surrounded by bees, and it was just an interesting well it was an interesting hive of activity with all these bees hanging around us. It's a weird headspace to approach. It would be knowing that I'm like, as long as I'm not like mucking about with them, would there be any reason they would want to sting or attack or feel that they're being threatened? Some days now you just be out in a t-shirt and shorts if it's hot. No veil, no need. You just were kind of landing on me when you're outside today. I would imagine there would have been no activity for us today. One did scare you because she decided to land on your neck. Oh no. I used to be quite scared of bees and wasps since you were stung as a kid and had allergic reaction. But behind the lens, it's completely different. You feel like there's that barrier, right? Could just build a frame to wear and cover with the wife's nylon. She'll probably kill you though. Probably. I got to go buy my own nylons now. We'll make them pretty. Apparently, on your neck was a good place to rest. See, I would be more if they would be like, "Hey, what's in here?" And it's like, oh, well, now my brain is a hive for bees. Although I guess I make my own honey. It's funny, you actually know subconsciously when you hear buzzing near your head, whether it's out of veil or in veil. There's just a little bit of just that different tone, a different sound. All right. We have downloaded a couple of parcels for Pixinsight. Packages downloaded. Perfect. I have no idea what to do. Oh, hey, Caleb. Just being closer to your head, it's like literally the loudness you can just kind of estimate now. What have I done? This. I've opened it up and updated it. What was I just downloaded? I don't know. 3 files. Something. They have different tones when they're chill versus pissed off. Is it just more of a calm hum? Yeah. I think it's just because you put a dot. It just makes it some kind of clickable link. Does it go anywhere? Suspect link seems sus. Now I remember this spot here. You can leave your the tabs that create your workflow. But yeah, the chill tones are just kind of low pitched, sort of general sort of droning, and it's almost calming to the fact of knowing that again, I don't mess with them; they're not going to mess with me. Check Discord DM in a second. Not a problem. Can I make? I should be able to do. Because right now this is like looking at the whole monitor there. Which tracks because she's flapping her wings way faster to get a good attack vector on your ass. We don't want to be mucking about with the bees. It is largely important not to piss off the bees. Now, if I had a picture of the beehive cluster, then that would be very appropriate for what we're looking at. But let's go to the next best thing and let's leave a picture of the monkey head nebula up there for the moment. First thing to do when opening a hive is look for the queen. If not seen right off, be mindful. How often okay, are there any instances where the queen either leaves or dies off and they don't replace her quick enough? Are there like dire consequences? Funny thing for you, it's not like a barrier, but more of the disappearance of the barrier, becoming one with the world, which for some reason lowers the feeling of danger. That is pretty insightful. Look for the queen, look for signs of the queen. That's okay, that would be a whole different thing. Nah, that's fine. That's cool. I know this is going again, this is a long journey to be going on, and I appreciate the insight in here as well, just kind of preparing ourselves for what will be coming up. A short answer, usually they can make a new one. See eggs and young larvae earlier. Yes. It sent you the workflow tabs file. All right. Where is... Drag that into Pixinsight. All right.
Be yourself.
I feel, Bill. I feel like that emote is just more threatening with a wooden spoon. Because my grandmother, my baba, was Eastern European, so she knew how to wield a wooden spoon. Where you can get our You get what are called laying workers. You would just direct you to reading. At that point, it's just complicated and absolutely bonkers. Fair enough. We will keep that in mind. So do I just drop this into Pixinsight? Where's my where are our files? Okay. Downloads. Ah, holy potatoes. Okay. I think I got to move myself again. Let's go back over here. Seems good. But laying workers, if unmanaged, will 100% guarantee the death of the hive, and usually really tricky to recover from, even if you can. Bumblebee, you've had on various occasions and remarks of your bumblebee wasp photos. Like, I'm afraid of them, but that photo I want to cuddle. Bumblebees are the golden retrievers of the bee world. There has been a couple of times when I have been visited by a bumblebee, and it's just, hello, how are you? You get two. You only have two levels of discouraging behavior: adorably threatening with a spoon, or yep. Oh, the bumblebees. Really, I've never seen like an angry bumblebee. They always seem so happy. But I wouldn't muck with that. Their enemy insects need to be on look for and natural remedies. See, that's the other thing is what we want to start encouraging is just some friendly bits of nature. Otherwise, pretty much you have to aggressively grab one. Why would you want to aggressively grab a bumblebee? They're just so cute and fuzzy, and they take great pictures as well. I've had a couple of images of bumblebees with their proboscis out, and they're going after the nectar. Yeah, that's true. And then they grew up to not liking bumblebees. When really, that one is that's a big one. You don't want to be empty on the coffee. We are still good with the coffee. Said when you see the maple leaf, then there's trouble. You're at a park a couple of years ago, and a kiddo got stung while you were there. Did you go to the rescue? Were they quickly saved? I've seen the videos of drunk bees. I have not. You have to go talk with the kiddo, with the parents. Okay, since well, you get stung all the time. I think it's not a pleasant feeling to be stung. Now, we have discovered that there are wasps nesting around here. Mrs. Canuck found that out the hard way, and it was in like the first week of us living here as well. So, like, we went days without incident, went back to zero a couple of times pretty quick when we first moved in. Have I downloaded the Easy Processing Suite? I don't think so. There were a couple of things. Easy Processing Suite. No, I have not. Pixinsight under Resources. Updates. Manage repositories. Oop. Oop. No, wait. I can't. Y'all are chatting. Hang on. I'm trying to copy the link. No. Okay, there. We got it. Wasps are jerk. Zero mercy. Kill with fire. See, now I've had encounters with wasps, and the biggest thing, and it was a big threat to them, they stole a piece of my ham sandwich. They cut a piece of the ham off of my sandwich. I watched them do it, and then they tried to run off with it. They're overly ambitious. It was too heavy, so they dropped it on the table, started cutting up in smaller pieces, and 2 more came back to retrieve the rest of it. Don't steal my food, wasps. Treading on thin ice. Wasps, generally speaking, however, are chill. Yellow jackets can bugger off. See, I think that might be the problem, is where people will confuse wasps and yellow jackets. I don't know what they are either. I just generally try not to even get up in their grill. They're pollinators as well as voracious omnivores, so they murderize the hell out of bad insects in gardens. See, we want to get rid of. There was a plethora, a multitude, copious amounts of mosquitoes around certain parts of the property when we first came to visit, and yeah, we want to eliminate as much of that as possible. Okay, so we added that one. Press OK. Okay, I have okayed. And then you feed them to your carnivorous plants. Oh, I want to grow carnivorous plants as well. And then you look for an update. Check for updates. Going to get bats. All right, we're downloading that. Okay, so packages downloaded, 4 successful. Beauty. All right, so what do we have now? Do I have the power? Do I hold my mighty mouse aloft and say these magic words? We can get bats?
Oh, good. It's the sniveling mustache I like to see. Wing bats. They eat mosquitoes. So can we buy bats, or do we just encourage more bat activity? Is that what we want to do? Oop, peas and rice. We just want to bring. We want to encourage. We want to install the updates now. Yes, we do. Yes, let's see how this goes. Oh boy. As long as I don't need to restart the PC for any of this, it'll all be fine. Okay. Restarting Pixinsight. Core version 1.8. Ripley. BT dubs, the sound effect ain't working. Which one? You can't hear it? It doesn't. You don't hear "By the Power of Grayskull"? Has nothing. Has the music been off as well? I just noticed that the desktop. Dang it. You're just thinking up. How long has it been off for? Have things been happening and everybody's like, oh, it's just very quiet? It's pretty boring. Oh my gosh. Oh. What's messaging everybody? What's up? What's up with Astro? This busted. What the Oh. There we go. Professional streamer supreme. You don't have clothes on. You're not here to ask questions.
And y'all don't know if I have pants on today. You don't. Just listening to the soothing nighttime talk about bees. I enjoy bees. I really do. But then there's also drunk bees. Do you figure the insects still get the enjoyment that those who imbibe alcohol do for the gentle buzz of things? Bees perceive time and can do math, so bees could essentially understand the theory of relativity. They're just that derpy. Those are fantastic. They're so fuzzy. That's one thing I'm looking forward to. Is we have a couple of, now that we've kind of combined like 3 households now. There are a great deal of DSLR cameras and a plethora of lenses available. We're just going to be like just photographing all the things. I'm looking forward to getting some interesting images as well from here. Oh, come on. Lars, that's awesome. I know! If... no, wait. No, that probably wouldn't be good. I was going to say, if bees were the size of cats, would we want to keep them as pets? Those they would be some giant-ass bees. Those would be like the bees that you'd find in Futurama. You have slow-mo videos of the entrance into your hives last year, and it's just absolutely hilarious to watch. You need to find someone that will let you put your 24mm macro probe lens into a beehive. Come visit. Oh, stay where you are then. Those are wonderful. Josh, you're going to head off? No worries. Welcome. Thanks for joining in. Appreciate you following us today. Yeah, looking forward to seeing you on the next one when we are hopefully doing some live astro imaging. Tomorrow morning, we're going to be back 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to build a new Lego set. Haven't told you guys what it is yet, but we do right now. We do know that we have a mystery goal. And I want to say that it should be interesting. Hopefully people would enjoy that if we reach that point. If not, I have some minor ideas that we can roll with if we reach certain points on there. See, okay, now that one was held for bullying. Is it just because not everybody can have a 105mm f2.8 micro lens? Is that what it was? Oh my gosh, all the resolution in this one. Holy potatoes. So what is your tattoo? Is it a carnivorous plant? Yep, wasn't happy with the proper spelling of. There you go. You have 3/4 sleeves of them in color. Oh, very cool. See, I wanted to add more tattoos. I didn't know what to really do. I've designed a few, but ultimately I spend all any excess money on Lego and telescopes. Automod all over things today. That one there? Or do a few of them just kind of bump? Oh my gosh. So adorable. Mrs. Canuck, are you in here? We need to get cameras by the beehives. We need to have some cameras scoping out the hives in the summer. What? That one's coming in hot. Oh, okay. Yeah, we're gonna lose like darkness, but I kind of can't wait for spring now. That's incredible. Oh, that's so cool. I guess if we start going on about it now, we need to have a bee moat of some sort. Awesome. So that's all capped brood, not really any honey. So at one point, the honeycomb is really where most of the eggs are being stored, right? When do they start just having the honey in there? When does the honey go in the honeycomb? Cappings will look opaque and papery for the brood. Whereas the honey, is it more waxy? Or it's more translucent, the other photo. We found it. The honeycomb hideout. Okay. That's so cool. Interesting about that one, the bee seems to come to the rescue. Like they help each other out, right? Finding out if you can tell what kind of frame it is as you pull it out of the hive based on the weight. So I guess it would be heavier with the honey, right? I'm loving these images. You can barely tell bee from stamen. Look at the color you got in there. That rainbow effect. It looks more like they just bathed in there. You want to make bee puns, and it's getting hard not to. Don't worry, I'm not gonna tell you to buzz off. We appreciate it. Appreciate you being in here. Let's see. Oh, that's kind of cute. Oh, I'm missing a pun in here. Why would a bee be playing a saxophone? I'll talk about bees and carnivorous plants for hours. I said we are going to be doing we'll be adding another stream day, and it'll be a little bit of a, no pun there. It's going to have some variety to it. And like I was saying last night, there are some crafting elements we'll be adding into things where I'd like to start building some mosaics, especially with the perlers, because they're maybe a little cheaper than Lego to almost get a very similar effect. Just to try something different out. So that's something that we're going to be adding into the future. And also, I don't know if we'll start off with something space, or because it's so cool, we build a giant Batman mosaic. One or the other. Something we'll do one of those. And these ones are not up for smashing because it's not going to do that. And especially not this space shuttle. We're not going to be smashing this one. We just want to build it. That's all. So I said before that I'm a huge fan of pixel art, and to be able to create something with these, I want to make some mosaics with Lego as well. But again, just to try something different and express the little more creativity on here. But still, trying to keep it space, sci-fi, nerdy, comic book based things, You need snacks. No worries. We are here for a while tonight, and we're going to figure out how to use Pixinsight. Hey, okay. That's fine there. Okay, nothing that shows up on here. Okay, so Pixinsight. Image. Image. This doesn't seem to be working. I think it's broken. Make good astro photos, please. Okay, so double clicking will open up a dialog box. Load up your data set. We'll start there. Okie doke. Do I just drag them in? Siri, make my photo look pretty. Google, make my photos look pretty. Alexa? None of them want to listen. All right, we just dragged them in there. Good question will be, where did I save your images? Are they just in the downloads? No, they don't seem to be in the downloads. Rat row. Where did I put them? Where did I put them? Oh, wait, maybe if I go into the downloads folder, would that work? Would it be better? Okay, I see the zipped files. Now, would you recommend the Fighting Dragon of Ara, Centaurus A, or No, that's not one. Centaurus A or the Fighting Dragon? Pardon me. Centaurus A. All right. Where would that file be? Let's okay, they're in here. Why? What are they? They're TIFFs, right? There we go. I found them. I will very quickly ruin Photoshop for me. All right. Okay. We have our TIFF files R, G, B, and L for Centaurus A. A galaxy that we do not have access to here in the Northern Hemisphere. Control A auto stretch for any of them. Get out of here with your monochrome camera. What is this? What are you doing? Why would you do such a thing? Ooh, I don't like that you gotta pull on the mouse to zoom in. Scrolling up pushes it away. What is this baloney? This is the worst program ever. Why do we get this? I can invert the mouse scrolling, right? Also drag the tab file. Oh, where did... I didn't save my workspace, did I? What is... There we go, okay. Illuminator CZ. What's going on, Illuminator? How you doing? Welcome in. Good to see you again. How are things? We're looking on today. This is a monochrome data set of Centaurus A that has been supplied to us by the wonderful Astro Caleb. I have started to utilize Pixinsight to process our astro images instead of Photoshop. And we are jumping off this learning cliff because I would like to be able to better utilize the data that we have imaged and properly use a program that is designed for astro image processing, rather than making Photoshop do our bidding. I was gonna say make Photoshop do our business. It doesn't do that. That's not what that program's for. Now double click on ABE for the automatic background extractor. Why do you always need to read the fine print? Where was the fine print? And also, what kind of snacks would you want despite needing to sleep? Now, remember there's something about the click on target image correction. Do I need to have like one selected, or is there like always one selected? Nerduino, how you doing? What's going on? How are you doing today? Check replace target image. All right. Back with snacks. What do you got? What do you get? What do you get? What do you get? What do you get? I have coffee and water and hot sauce. I was reading the Pixinsight license. Oh, to what end? For having to apply VAT? Strawberry fig Newtons and applesauce with honey and cinnamon. Sounds very delicious. Bottom left of the process, the triangle allows you to drag the process to an image. The square allows you to run the process on the selected or most recently selected image. So would I just drag this over to that one now? What happens if I do that? I can undo things, right? And I broke it. Just drag the triangle to all of them. Nothing seems to be happening. That one did it. There's a control A to research. But these ones didn't go supremely dark. Just the luminance did that. Oh, peas and rice. The one thing about bees, you'll never not have honey. We have yet to receive some honey. Because if you read far enough on things like credit cards, you discover, if agreed to, you have to allow the central bank to go into your account to take the monies without warrant or proof you owe the demanding payee. Ooh. I mean, you figure enough people have used Pixinsight that there have been without incident, right? The reason being Luminous has the greatest. Well, there we go. Oh, okay. It's going to take me a while to... Now, what about if I'm just tooting around the image? I can hold the spacebar still, right? Like what I was saying before when we were looking at this this image prior, all the other galaxies that you have in this image. Like, I love that. Oh, I hit Control 0. Is that a... that just brings it... I see. But yeah, this is... Caleb, what was the telescope and camera you used for this this data set? Because I have a color camera. So I'm just using the ASI 533 one-shot color. And Caleb was using the Skywatcher Esprit 100 with a QHY 268 monochrome camera. And monochrome images, you're getting every single portion of that sensor is recording information. Whereas with our color camera, we get some beautiful color images that show up, but we lose at least 50% of the image off the bat with the Bayer matrix. So that's why we are really leaning toward shifting budgets over to the upcoming ASI 533 monochrome camera so that we can start to utilize more narrowband filters, get more data on our images, more useful data quicker, as opposed to waiting for the longer integration times needed for color cameras. So tonight, actually, it is still clear out. We're at about a 78% full moon at the moment. That's one of the other things right now that is putting a damper on things. Is how bright of a full moon there. We're actually no, 88%. But you can see my confusion on here is that we were slated to have, like, it's still coming up as red and a bunch of clouds rolling in. Lights and flats is independent to temperature. We're talking about the lights and the darks. All right, Lars, take care. Good to see you in here. You think you got some decent skies, but it's windy autofocus. Fair enough. So yeah, atmospheric is butts. As an American investment banker and a former public official who has served as managing director of Dillon, Reed & Co. during the presidency of George H.W. Bush as the United States Secretary of Housing and Urban Development for Housing. It's like Catherine Austin Fitz. Oh, is that for regarding the unwarranted payments rolling through? Ah, I see. So yeah, you can see it's a little annoying how, as long as the clouds start rolling in like the next 20 minutes. Although you figured we would have had like an hour of clear skies. It's still not a good enough amount of sky to be able to. If we had like a roll-off roof and everything was all set up and I didn't have to go outside where it was freezing cold at minus 16 degrees, feeling like minus 19, then no. All right. So we've done the automatic background extractor. So would using ABE be, is it better for like a wide field image where you have a great deal of the sky available, versus if you're using looking at a dense nebula, you'd have to kind of pick out. You have to use dynamic background extractor. Always when someone talks about your government officials, you always wince when someone talks about government officials because they don't know what you're about to apologize for. You know, they do have jackets, but then you're fiddling with zippers and no. If anything, somewhere on my deck, I have my sandals buried in the snow. And those are just better to quickly slip on and run out. But then the snow got too high, and the sandals were useless. They're missing at the moment. Well, no, they're not missing. I know exactly where they are. They're just buried under ice and snow. So DBE is good for fine-tuning, but for mono, most of the time you can get away with the automatic background extraction. So if we're using a color image, then we need to be a little more careful, yes. So so far, nothing is really coming back to me at the moment. But I'm remembering some of the images in here, and that everything is always stretched, but sorry, it's not locked in until I can't remember what button you hit, but there's something you have to hit, and then it'll stay in that stretched state. Yeah, it's gonna be like, oh yeah, this is a breeze. Look at this. This is awesome data. This is fantastic. I'll throw some of my stuff in there and be like, this is. With LRGB, you probably want to process linearly. I mean, this looks so awesome. Did you see, have you guys seen that there's a possible supernova candidate within the Leo triplet? I believe it was so click on LRGB, it opens up the LRGB combination. Okay. You see the moon is on your side at the moment. You try to keep it here for it. I would appreciate it if you did, Lars. However, you can see, look at the long shadows on the trees back there, like the two prominent trees here. The moon is ridiculous. You heard about that possible big boom. So it was on Alex Roig. Did he share that on his Twitter, comparing with someone else's data from like a few weeks ago, or a couple of weeks ago? This is just, it's also like very wonderfully set up as well, Caleb. Okay, uncheck the luminance and load R into R, G into G, B into B. Uncheck luminance. Oh, that is like, that's too helpful. Why are they doing this? Why is this seemingly intuitive? All right, it is getting colder out. What are we feeling? We're at, so we have a cold warning. We have an extreme cold warning until tomorrow afternoon. Wind chill values nearing -30. Expect a light snowfall. The low will be -20 degrees Celsius. Okay, so at the moment right now, 8 p.m., saying it's supposed to be mainly clear, or mostly clear. And then for the rest of the night, it says cloudy to mostly cloudy. I never figured out if you got the comet the other night. Terrible thing about that, we haven't had clear skies to double check. Also, the file folder where it should have had the live images stacked from on the ASI Air, they were gone. I have no idea what's happened with that. I've sent a message over to ZWO asking, is this something that happens? But they had been on vacation. They had been on holiday for a couple weeks, so I'd imagine they got a backlog of questions to answer. But yeah, it was annoying that we had that empty file folder for what the I know. That is not the last time we're going after a comet, though. I believe we'll go after. There will be more comets available, and probably after higher magnitude or lower magnitude comets, so we can have more distinct details. Probably the filter metadata. Click the circle, which is apply global. Okie doke. It's doing its thing. So all of these menus always stay in front, right? I know. Hopefully so. We can close them now. Okie doke. Do I say yes? Oh, no. Okay. No. These ones. The menus. Okay. Fabulous. Just close the processes, not the images. Gotcha. All right. So we have this is the RGB. So this is stacked now. Control A. Please wait. Mad. Woo! Did I put one in the wrong way? No, it's supposed to be. That's correct. Dude. Okay. This is still looking awesome. RGB requires color calibration and background neutralization. Alrighty. Space is purple. So conveniently there is a background neutralization button and color calibration. Doesn't matter which one we drag BG neutralization first. We just go like that. Drag and drop. Dragged and dropped. Color calibration next. You're making this way too easy, man. Peas and rice. Oh, that's looking cool. Control A again. Look at these little galaxies. Look at these guys. Look at this. That's so cool. A somewhat calibrated RGB. And this was, what did you say? This was 2 hours or less with a monochrome? Oh, that's so cool. That's amazing, man. Probably an hour worth of RGB. And the other one for luminance alone. All right, so when we add luminance, like what are we expecting here? Just stop by for a brief visit. Local skies don't look too bad, so you're going to see what you can find in the eyepiece and entertain and amaze your daughter. Have a great stream. No worries, Nerduino. Appreciate you coming on in. And yeah, hopefully you get some nice clear skies and take a look at some awesome things out in space. amplify your meat cameras, please. Okay, open up color saturation. This is odd. I gotta say, Caleb, you're helping helping this being not so much of a daunting reintroduction. Okay, so this was what kind of caught me off for a little bit, was having like the dual windows open and then closing it, and the things like that. There was like almost too much information. So on the left side of the graph thing, in white to purple bar. Yes, white to purple. Carefully. There's a middle triangle on there. This thing, right? All right, we've yanked it. Wait, hold on. Increase the range to 5. All right. And now yank it again? Wait. Oh, I see it. See it changing now. Do it. Do it. Like, really crank. Will the luminance kind of tone it down? Square to apply. Woo. Alrighty. Okay, so can I close this one now? Or is there still more we got to do? I'd be interested to see what some of the other data sets that we have. I'm thinking if we weren't using your monochrome data, I was thinking about the Pleiades that we had like 4 hours on, or possibly even the Christmas tree cluster. I think that would be an interesting one to check out. So if I close color saturation, then will it still have the settings set to this one, or will it just kind of reset? I'm just going to close it and see what happens. Seems right. Okay, so would I, at this point, would we click on LRGB again and add the L? Or is there something else that we have to do? So Pixinsight processes are a process, i.e. you modify a bunch of script and apply it irreversibly. I think what I did before when I was using Pixinsight was get things as close to a finished product as best as possible, and then taking it to Photoshop to add the polish in the end. But I'm liking that's looking like the star color, Caleb. Even that is looking incredible. It's like like it's not even a question anymore that delving into into a monochrome camera. Brooks, how are you doing? Oh my gosh, thank you very much. Thank you very much for the 200 bits. Thank you, thank you, thank you. How are you doing tonight? Good to see you in here. Good to see you. So, speaking of some people getting some snacks earlier, this does afford the opportunity to stick some hot nuts in my face. Yeah, good to see you, Brooks. And a bonus because I'm kind of hungry. the always the first batch of nuts. It's like my mouth is not even ready for it. It just everything, the dust gets everywhere. So go back to the LRGB combination, check luminance, uncheck RGB, dump your lumen into your RGB. Are we allowed to say that? Yeah, Brooks, good to see you. We are trying out Pixinsight. For those who are new to the channel, or those who have already know who I am. No, my name is Tom. I am the Astro Canuck. We are doing some image processing tonight, courtesy of Astro Caleb, who is another astrophotographer here on Twitch. Does some gaming as well. Trying to do some Beat Saber whilst copying or whilst compiling some of his images. But we are we're doing some image processing tonight. We have the trial period of Pixinsight, but we have reached this goal. And I thank you guys an incredible amount of appreciation for this. We will be purchasing the full license for this program. So it won't, once that 45 days is up, it's not going to expire. We're going to be trying to take our astrophotography processing to the next level. I mean, there have been a lot of people who can do some great things with Photoshop, but already at this point, what we're seeing, even though it is fantastic data, just the fact that all of these tools and processes are designed to edit your astro images. So this is I want to say this is a very sound investment. It has been something that's been on the list to do for quite a while. It's always a good time for you when you see Astro Canuck streaming. I appreciate that. I enjoy hitting that go live button. There is never been a time where I'm thinking, oh, I got to do this. It's no, I want to do this. I want to share these experiences with everybody and learn some things new. Learn something new. Learn some new things. Do some, I was going to say, eat some nuts. I appreciate that as well. Okay, so we're going back to the LRGB combination. Where'd that one go? So we are unchecking. Then I click the, is it the triangle or the circle? Triangle to drag. Oh. I clicked the circle. Is that wrong? Should I go back? Close this one? Lars, you got your snack? Frikandel and cassouffle. What is okay, I don't know. I want to say that the souffle is something to do with eggs. You can close that. Okay. Close that. Triangle. Drop it on there. so much of the like. Can't even look at that now. Like I'm zooming in like a great deal, and a lot of that noise that we had before when we were stretching that. Introduced to curve transformation. Okay, I want to say I think I have the hang of this here. So how can I zoom? How can I zoom in on this one? Or can we? And like this is. So this is the Galaxy Centaurus A, and this data has been provided to us courtesy of Astro Caleb. The square button in the preview. Full preview? No. Select preview? I almost thought it was a risky click. What is that, Lars? Is that like a... Is that like hot? Is that mustard and onion meat? Mayo? That looks delicious. Lars, these look too good. This is not allowed. Deep fried meat, mayo, curry, and onion. That sounds delicious. That sounds like we're going to have some frikandel. Okay, so the RGB. You mostly use RGB, C, and S curve to fine tune the image. We use S for saturation today. So does it matter which one is done? You usually try to match yours up, or we just kind of click in the middle and drag it top left a bit, or towards the top left. All right, I can see it starting to change there. So if I click on this one, nope, I didn't do that. Oh, you can't just drag it away? How do I... Oh dear. Oh, there we go. Delete. Boom! A-pod for sure. Oh, you right click on the spot and it'll do that. Okay, so if I go back to the saturation, then it'll do that. Okay, so how was I quality smooth or reset a completely bottom right button of the process? Okay, all right. So we'll adjust a bit of that. Let's do some of that there. Oh, okay, so I was just doing the overall curve for the image, and not just the saturation on like for the entire. Adjust the hue. Okay, so it wasn't just each channel. We were just boosting the color up on everything. I normally do one curve, apply, reset, and do something else. So then what do we do? Do we hit the square? Or is it drag the triangle? 1 or 2 curves, for instance, if you're working on O3, you'll shift G and B at the same time. Square. Okay, so it's applied it to the image now, right? That's been applied. So we would go back to this one. We want to adjust this. Click the is that the A pod button? I get you now. Okay. So if I wanted to muck around with the blues a bit, then we do all that. You just keep clicking square, you'll keep applying the same settings. So it'll okay. Just stacks them all together. Interesting. Deadly Fork, how you doing? Good evening to you. What we do sometimes is do a mild curve push and keep stacking the process until you like it. How you doing, Fork? Good to see you tonight. All right, I've had this over here. You couldn't see what I was doing. So now if I was to... So if I wanted to... If I did this and didn't like it, undo the curve channel. Okay, we can still Control Z is going to do that. So this is... I mean, this data, this is not mine. I mean, this looks so good. Bottom right button will reset. But that'll just reset this one as this instance here, right? Gotcha. So if we did want to punch it up a little bit more, maybe that's too much color, we can undo that. Good. So undo that, but it won't undo previous. But it's I'm like, it is looking very nice. It is. Damn it, Caleb. Monochrome data, Pixinsight. It just looks so good. Yeah, get wrecked. Get wrecked, son. You have ruined color cameras. So if see, I would need to take an image of Centaurus A with my setup and a color camera, and then just see if I need, like, maybe 5 hours will get me to something like this. And even then, so are we curves transformation? I'm going to say I'm happy with how the color looks on here. I mean, we have like the deep kind of rusty brown within the galaxy, and the core is nice and bright. Okay, so I can close all of this now. Yes, because we've already applied those on there. Preview and curve. Like how blue, like the star colors in here. I'm probably blowing out. See if I can zoom in and probably notice that we're blowing out those stars a little bit. Yeah, I'm not going to be fussed about that right now. Overall, this is gorgeous. Minimum required steps, and I imagine that you can go ridiculously deep on the image processing with this. I appreciate that. Thank you. And again, it's like all the faint fuzzies in the image, all the other galaxies within, like things like this. This is really, it looks weird on there. There we go. That's looking cool. Usually deconvolute everything first, but that'll take like 5 years. Fair enough. Double click the STF and histogram to teach you how to stretch already. STF, where is the... It's at this point you are working with linear, non-stretched data. All right, so we want to bring this into... when I hit the nuclear button, right? All right, click on the image, Control A once. That'll update the STF. Okay. All right. Ooh. Oh. 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 Oh my goodness. Now, if Mrs. Canuck isn't watching the stream or paying attention, I'm just going, oh. Oh my. Maybe she's not near the door. Wrap the inside in the outside. Is it good? Darn tootin'. Doing a big fig. Delete it. Do it. Just close everything. Save? Nah. Drag the screen transfer function triangle to the bottom gray bar in the histogram process. So this goes down here. I'm going to await confirmation. Kajad says yeah. Caleb says yep. Mrs. Canuck is currently on the phone, quickly to block all bank accounts. We're applying the curve permanently. You have transferred the screen transfer function into the histogram tool already. Now click square or triangle drag to the image for this one. Beep. And now we nuke it again. And now it is stretched to this. Nah? Oh. Okay, but wait, we can undo that, yes? Nuke it. What's up, Ark? How you doing? Don't undo it. Oh, for Pete. Redo. All right. I haven't hit the nuke button. But I do Control A. I'm going to turn off the preview. I just spent 6 hours playing around with Pixinsight. We've been at this for about an hour and a half-ish. Maybe an hour. How has your experience with Pixinsight been going, Ark? I'm going to turn off the preview, which is the monitor icon in STF. Okay. STF disabled. I learned that the best way of using Pixinsight is by using scripts. So far, my best way of using Pixinsight is Caleb. Now that is what your true image that you'll be saving out with no STF auto stretch. It's relatively gorgeous. Oh, there's the arc sign stretch in here, eh? I like that in Photoshop. But I couldn't get it to, like, save for some weird reason. For the most part, it is done. So I can close these now. That looks all right. That's just awesome. Arc sign transformation is your go-to. I see. I like that as well. When we did the curve stretch in Photoshop, sometimes you could overdo it. But yeah, arc sign just had a nice curve on things. So I'm going to need to use this VOD as some reference as well, because until I'm using Pixinsight on like a regular basis, then I know I'm like going to quickly forget. The problem is it always produces bloated stars. But there is, so how does the what was there in here? I saw something about star reduction. I thought I saw a tool for that. Easy star reduction. So what if I would be able to use it at this point, or when would you, or do you kind of use this as your workflow? Drag that. All right. Because it's a script. Gotcha. What's up, TV stations? How you doing? You continue your sprite stuff you've been doing since the 9th of February. It's for something. Very cool. Do I have StarNet++? Maybe? Not in there. I thought I had it on here. I think I do. Run create star mask and we will know. Okay. So to just click this one? All right. Error. Why did we get an error? What happened here? Does it need to point to StarNet? Do I have to close this now? Is that it? Just because of it? Where would I stick the files for? I thought I had StarNet on here. Or maybe it's on the... That's easier. All right. Well, it's probably. Ooh, wonder Pixinsight. What's up? Oh, there we go. Engine powering down. Thank you for using Easy Star. Ah, so I have to go with the get StarNet plus plus. But I could have sworn I had it. I must have it on here. Does it need to be in the same file as with Pixinsight, or is it just search for it on the computer? No, let's see. I can still use the PB file from StarNet 2. All right, let's see. It's almost downloaded. If I had better internet, downloading at 1.1 meg per second. But again, that's looking so cool. All right, let's. As soon as that's downloaded, so there's the Pixinsight extension. We'll extract that. Okay, so we'll put that in. Can I go in the folder for Pixinsight, or it can just be like in our documents? Copy the 3 files, PB and DLL, in the Pixinsight. So the TensorFlow, the StarNet 2, these ones here, right? These 3. And that goes into, you said, into Pixinsight. And then just into the bin, you say. Action can't be completed because the folder or file open is open in another program. Close the folder or file and try again. It's because I'm running Pixinsight right now, isn't it? So do I need to save this before we shut everything down? Or is there a file saved somewhere? Okay, doesn't like this. Okay. The EXIF files. Okay, so How dare they put the responsibility on me? Don't they know how irresponsible I can be with files? My goodness. Okay, let's put this in with a Centaurus A. Files. Oh, what options do we want? All right, good night, Lars. Have a very good evening. Camillo Zip, what's going on? How you doing? Welcome into the observatory. Welcome. Use whatever native Pixinsight file is. File type 2 EXIF. Okay. Is it... I am the Astro Canuck. Welcome. Welcome, Camillo. How you doing? Default is fine. Okay. Let's save that. All right, that's saved. So I can shut all this down, copy those files into the bin. The important parts are the FITS header, keyword, RGB, working space, and processing history. All right, Lars, thank you very much for joining. Enjoy your snooze. Yarp. Yarp. Okay, let's try it again. All right, it says it's in. Oh my god, it's in. Oh, that's cool. It's a sprite animation. That looks really nice. Ooh. That's a... Lars has already gone to bed. That's a beautiful shot. The worst that can happen is you have to redo everything, which is good. Practice, practice, practice. Exactly. Oh, speaking of doing everything again. The things, the workflow, peas and rice. We have to save, or does it need to be in this box and then it'll save all those things? Oh, for Pete's sake. Now go to Process Modules. Process Modules. Install modules. You can save that as a project if you recall correctly. Click search. One additional program. All right, install. I'm going to assume install. Select the Astronomy module. Yep, and install. One module installed. Perfect. So I should be able to... We have open recent. Makes things XYZ. How you doing? Welcome in. Module should be in processes, etc. Aha. So if we have this and like, can I make this stay here or is it something else? All right, so there's our data that we were just working on right now. The software looks cool. Is it astronomy specific or general computer vision? It is. This is Pixinsight, the program that we were using. It is designed for editing astrophotography images, and I don't know if I've actually ever seen anybody use it for other than astrophotography. Now, I guess the same way that we are building, we use Photoshop to edit a lot of our images. I guess it would be, there probably could be some processes in here that you could still do, but it is largely for editing images of space. Try opening the built StarNet module, process, all process. Oh wait, all processes. StarNet. Does it work for labeling and mapping too? That is a good question. Ark, Kajad, Caleb. All right, StarNet or StarNet 2? I'm going to imagine StarNet 2. So can you do labeling? Oh, do StarNet. Sorry. All processes, StarNet. Oh, it's over here. So if we're going to do some labeling on here, is it a plugin or is it something that's already built, is already baked in? Like if you tell it where you took the photo and what direction. So like I know on like astrometry.net, we'll do that with your images. It's built into the. Let's clone before we do that. Okay. How do we clone? Click and drag out of the vertical window. So now we have cloned it. Okay, gotcha. So yeah, Caleb, are we able to plate solve on this and get some labels on here as well? A StarNet window, hit the settings icon. Oh wait, which one are we doing here? StarNet or StarNet 2? Do we want to try StarNet 2 and see how it'll handle? Try putting the PB file in the option window. Things are happening. Wrench icon. Oh. Hang on. I've clicked something. Whether or not good things happen. If the stream goes out, we know why. Processing. Right row. We're at 15%. What's up, Third Rock? All right, so we're trying out some things. So you had the filter wheel conked out on you, or did the flats not get taken? We are out of coffee. Well, while that's doing its thing. Oh, look what. Okay. So the weather was like all forecasts were completely wrong for tonight, and that's a bit of a pain. Like I can't even see right now how much clear sky we actually do have. You know what? That's okay. These things happen. Also, because this camera is what controls the go to, chair, stand up, kitchen, coffee pot, pour. It's true. It is. We do have the maple leaf in there. But I think I am. It's not so much I'm coffeeed out, but I do need to make sure that I'm not going to like be awake for all hours leading up to tomorrow morning. Where I haven't said what Lego set we're going to be building tomorrow. And it's not because I don't know what it is. I do know what it is. But we'll reveal that for tomorrow. And then we've already, I guess, because we do have a substantial goal. So I'm going to, we'll count all bits. We'll start it from today. We'll leave that up there for our mystery Lego goal, or our Lego. Pause for laughter. Thank you. Which we will run until the 6th of, no, not the 6th of March, the 5th of March. And then we will roll that into our 6th of March birthday stream, our subathon, which we will get some parameters on what we're going to be doing for that coming up in the next week or so. I'll let you guys know what can be looking forward to, what I plan to do. And that is the big spoiler. Unfortunately, the goats blocked it. I'm not going to repeat that one. No, there is a lot of things planned. I'll be talking more about that on Discord, sharing some of the events that we have planned. There'll be a couple of giveaways as well. I think it should be fun. I mean, we'll still be building a Lego set on that day, and I will plan it so that we are not going to be continuing a build. We'll have a special build for that day. All right, StarNet is complete, and we have removed all of the holy potatoes. Like I feel like it's naked. Like that did a pretty darn good job.
Holy potatoes.
I know. Seriously. Like we had one star, but it left the galaxies. Like I love that. That's cool. We still got our faint fuzzies in there. Well, along with our main galaxy. That's so good. StarNet 1 can't do that. StarNet 2 is significantly better. Well, it's good to see that it worked. Wow. So why did that star not make the cut? Is it just because of the way how the process was done that we had? That it's just too big. But if we ran like more star reduction, then we could have really dialed that in. But still, that's... It's bloated, needs some Pepto. Load it up. Okay, so now that we have this starless image within Pixinsight, what would we do to open pixel math while we're on this one? Yes? Where is pixel math? I saw it. Am I hovering right over? No. There it is. Need to go to processes, all processes, pixel math. Got it. It was right there. Or there, we'll get it. We got it going. So now type in I gotta type things? What is it? It's us. It is case sensitive. Capital. Okay. So we're doing image 09 underscore clone dash image 09. Okay. And is that like so that's the path that we would have to do if we're doing when we're doing this pixel math. Okay. Create new image. Pixel math is live already. Okay. Image ID auto, that's fine all there, right? Circle, you think? Okay, circle gets the square. One or the other. There you go. As long as one of them didn't like totally bork the computer. So this is just the stars. Okay. So it is. Pretty sure we don't need that one at the moment. Guaranteed. Like, yes, I am. I'm watching this. I'll be watching this back tomorrow because some of the things, yeah, I don't remember. Basically, pixel math in my case, you'll have a full RGB image and a starless image. Okay, so if I was to do, whoa, Control A didn't do a great thing on there. Not to get you confused or sidetracked, that happens anytime. You can use it with the two filters of your 533 to combine narrowband and broadband. So I think right now the only image I have is that is like narrowband and broadband is Lot 15. And in this case, you have your complete image minus the galaxy background, etc., which result in stars. Okay, so I hit Control A on here. Can I hit not Control A? There doesn't seem to be a top bar. And monitor icon. Oh, there we go. Okay. So this is just our stars, and now this is... that is just our... not stars. Same monitor icon as in the STF process. All right, cool. So can we just... do we combine these? Or do we kind of edit them separately and then combine?
Oh, look, there's a red dot where my pointer should be. Click the screen so Astro knows what the heck you're looking at.
So now where it is very advanced. Depends on who you ask. I get you. I am glad the heat map is working again. Actually, would it have been easier if we had this on for a while? You could have pointed at things. I could have seen. Who's this one? Who's this finger? So could I drag it? No, I'd have to get... Would any of them go in there? Brooks! Brooks, thank you. Thank you very much for the gifted sub to Third Rock Astronomy. Bringing Third Rock up to 7 months. Greatly appreciated. There we go. On to the spike of appreciation. The pillar of happiness. The Rod Gilbert. Some work on the stars separately from Nebula Galaxy, and some combining to do it all together. See, I tried doing a bit of the starless image when we were working on the Heart Nebula. The spike is everything. Spike is life. Much like Starnet. Holy potatoes. Look at this. That's awesome. Oh, wait. You're not even looking at it. So we had our stars and our galaxy. And then it's like, bye-bye all major, all the minor stars. Left like one little star there. I wouldn't complain about that. I'm not going to complain about that. That is tremendous. Where we could really start to punch up the details in the galaxy. Like, that's incredible. Can we like, that does a really good job. That is so good. That's why you process your data so many times. Yeah, that's just... That's incredible. That does such an amazing job of getting rid of the stars. That's wicked. So now this one, we can't really stretch it so much now, can we? Because this is removed. It is just the stars in this image, right? Actually, we're not in center on this. Still, that's so nice. So could I just drag some other image in here and run Starnet on it, or does it have to be an X? Does it need to be like the EXIF file? Or can it be a TIFF or something like that? Under script utilities, dark structure enhance. Ooh, really? You can do fits, TIFF, and JPEG and PNG. See if we have anything. Just to see. What do we have here? Manual star reduction is an advanced topics you would avoid for now. That's okay. That's cool. So could we use it on this? So what did I do? What did we do before? We just clicked the, was it the square or drag the triangle in here? I just want to see what this looks like. Okay, we're doing this. It's running. I don't know how long. It didn't take too long with the other image. Hopefully not too long with this one. We'll see how that runs. Matt, what's going on? Welcome back. Oop, something's happened. Did it not like that? I will let it, we'll let that do its thing, see what we can do for getting rid of the stars out of our Christmas tree cluster, just to see what happens. Just don't do GIF. Do GIF instead. Okay, so what is the dark structure enhance? You're watching the Lego Technic Lego creator video of the Porsche 911. Have you seen that there are alternate instructions or alternate directions to convert the Porsche into a Lamborghini Countach? Because of that, now there is the speed version that is like $29 that you can get the Lamborghini. I'll talk a little bit more of that tomorrow for some upcoming sets. However, yes, there are instructions where you can turn the... Where was it on here? There was something about turning the 911 into the Countach. I don't know if it was on here or if it was elsewhere. I don't know how far back we're going. But if I find that link, I will gladly share that. And because of that, I got my eye on the 911, on the Porsche, just to see. Lego Legend, how you doing? You're popping in at like the right time while I'm searching for some alternate build instructions. But we're scrolling by. You're seeing a lot of things, and yes, I want like everything that's on these pages. Yeah, having a very good night tonight. And if it's not on this page, I will. I'll abandon the search. But I'll keep that in mind to post it in our Lego section. There we go. There it is. So, Matt, just in case, if you're interested in that. So it does, and there's some stickers that you can purchase. It's like $10 or something like that for the stickers. And yeah, it is just repurposing all of the Porsche 911 pieces to build a Countach. Which, growing up, this was the car that I wanted to have. Now, if we can do it in Lego form, have a couple of different versions. I have a little micro machine of the Countach. You got the Hogwarts castle and all you want, and you want to do the alternative build of a university. I saw that for the first time today. That looked really cool. Dial structure and how I get the dark gas structure to pop in my recent images. Yeah, way too tall for this. Like, no, I'm not going to scrunch down into a Lamborghini now. Real quick question: have you ruined color cam and Pixinsight for you already? Well, no, you haven't ruined anything. It's more it has increased the want for the color camera. I will see. Oh, Photoshop. I think I want to use Photoshop as a tool to take what has been properly processed within Pixinsight, or 92%, and then punching it up in Photoshop. Properly processed Pixinsight, punched up Photoshop. Okay, let's see how this one turned out. I would say better than what I've had in the past. These artifacts, though, were already from the pre-processed image before. For annotations, you have to place solve your image first. Once I get the QHY533M, you'll ruin one-shot color. I see the benefit. I really do. For monochrome images. Although for having, I don't know how many, this is like 10 hours on the Christmas tree cluster. Which probably could be achieved in a third of the time with monochrome. And also getting rid of these gigantic halos. It kept Hubble's variable nebula in there. Didn't take that out. But again, with this data set, I would have to go back and I would start completely from scratch to try to better tame the stars. Like, these ones looked a little better, but I used one of the StarNet images, and it just left these gigantic halos around the stars, which remain in here. So, yeah, would definitely want to even stack it in here and go, yeah, just take it out and edit in full force with Pixinsight, and then polish it up in Photoshop. I will save the SHO files, but I am looking forward to that. Okay, what do people, did anybody have any thoughts on the upcoming Halo movie? Does it seem any bit interesting? It's been so long since I've played Halo, and I can only imagine a movie after this long. It's got to go either way. It is going to be a very good story. It's going to be an awesome movie, or it is just going to be the drizzly. Nothing you can do about the Halo unless you get chroma filters. One step at a time. So if we were to go monochrome, and figuring that it would take a while to refresh the coffers to get a filter wheel, what one filter, because right now I have the L Pro, I have the tri-band filter, and then next week we're going to have the L Extreme. What one filter for the monochrome camera would be recommended above all else, just to kind of bundle those two together for now? What would you guys recommend? Ha! 3 nanometer 03. All right. It's just going to be a movie where a lot of people are passing each other, saying hello to each other. Halo. 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 Hey! See, I was thinking an HA filter. You got HA with the L Extreme. Well, we got 03 with the L Extreme as well, right? which you can better separate the colors with Pixinsight as well. Correct. I would love to see. I would love to get a really, really deep sky image of just this portion of the Christmas tree cluster. I want to know exactly what's going on in this section. You just want to do a Nelson impersonation. I cannot go that high pitch like Nelson.
I could do a pretty good. No, wait, hold on. Trying to think of Mo. Mo has got to be a little higher. You got to go a lot higher. Maybe. Don't know. Back, handling something from back home. No worries, Deadly Fork. Good to see you.
Welcome back. We are. Well, I am enamored with the star removal, StarNet 2, because just getting the galaxies and one big star, not going to complain, out of this image. It looks very cool. Is there a way for every time when you make an EXIF, can it be forced to save to the file folder you're working in? Like, not that I'm going to be completely absent-minded about these things, but can it not just automatically create, or is it the sense that you could be making so many that you're just overloading? 3 nanometer 03 mono is better than L Extreme 03. All right, so take that into consideration. I think it also kind of boils down to how much a monochrome 533 is going to be, which I'm figuring. What is the price on the 533 color? Are there any Canadian vendors that have it listed anywhere? All right, so it is Telescopes Canada is saying $11.99 for. So that's the price for the color camera. Monochrome, I'm imagining, what, 1500? So L Extreme is 7 nanometers H8, 03, and the 03 versus 03 mono, 03 on the L Extreme, split between B and G pixels, just so you know. That's true. That's why we get a lot of those, kind of that cyan color from the 03 data. 8th end, about finished. Canada is up 4-8. Excellent. You ever notice when you watch curling, all of a sudden you become quite the expert on what they should be doing? I feel that way. Also, I miss curling. It's much more fun to play than it is to watch. Just save as, pick an extension you want, but if you do Astro, stick with the FITS or EXIF unless you want to process with another design software program, like Raw Therapy, Lightroom, Photoshop, etc. Then choose the TIFF. Yes, if I'm going to take it into Photoshop, then we'll have the TIFF file to work with. But I was just wondering if there's a way that it would save, you know. Also, okay, so does QHY do they have a 533 mono, right? You're still confused after watching it since the last Olympics. If you play a few rounds, you can start to get the hang of it. But again, they will have a 533. Have they announced a price for it? Advanced Trigonometry is also a curling aficionado. How's it going, Faust? They will have a 533. There's no price on that yet. Okay, so would we kind of speculate that it would be, the monochrome would be about 1,500 Canadian? I don't know what the if it's what is it, $8.99 American for the 533. So you figure then probably about maybe 1,100 1200 US. If you want to go radio telescope, you can buy the 1 kilometer array. How many acres in a kilometer? Spend or submit the amount, the proper paperwork, and get some time with Webb. Also, that's selfie of Webb. That's not the selfie of Webb. There we go. So it's $8.99 US for the. So you figured the monochrome version would probably be about 1200 US, perhaps. All right, Matt, take care. Have a good one. Biggest, strongest telescope you can buy. You'd probably be looking at what Plane Wave sells, like 1 meter telescopes, right? Or even larger. It just depends on what your budget's going to be. If you're thinking about treating money as no option, a mono would probably go for $10 to $11.99. So it'd be what? Yeah, let's just say. Yeah, figure that. 1,500.
Water. This the water.
Cheers for that, Matt. Plane Wave has the biggest, 1 meter, but that thing costs plus install easily $1 million. Yeah. All right. So we figured that 1,500 is about a good approximation for what we would be looking at for the 533. So obviously, then that is going to be the limit for quite a while if we do try to go down the route of getting the 533 mono. But what's the biggest, strongest you can buy as a private citizen? Like, are you looking for focal length or aperture? I mean, you're looking at, like, there's a 32-inch Rasa, and that's going to, you're shooting at what, was it f2.0 or f1.8 with that one? And that's going to be pretty powerful. I mean, asteroid hunters, they use the like, let's have a look. Cool. Rasa 8 is around 2,500. Let's see, they got a 20-inch plane wave, Richie Chrétien, similar to the same kind of design that we're using, but much larger at $57,000. And I mean, that is, you're basically, you're going observatory grade with something like this. But again, if you walk to work, why not go for something like that, right? That is, it is bananas. So I guess another thing I was looking at was off-axis guiding. If we're going to be going at like 1,600 millimeters with our current. EQ6 is back in stock. Is that what it said? Oh yeah, look at that. In stock. Grab it now. go for it. You need it. I have absolutely no affiliate link for this thing. If you want it, I strongly encourage picking that up. Wonder how many people have a telescope of that size. The PlaneWave 1000 is $575,000 US dollars, but that includes the mount, and it's quite a bargain. Does that also include installation and a complimentary can of pop? What's going on? Hanao, how you doing? Good to see you tonight. It will only be a matter of time before you get a second one. Like I said, I'm for all the types of telescopes that I want to be using. I think a second EQ6R is going to work out well. If we don't go with possibly getting the harmonic drive mount from ZWO, but again, it is. Sometimes I will speak as if there is unlimited money. There is not. There are budgets that we have to build up to. So, but I know we all have these conversations. We all say what we want to get, and you know what? Eventually, we start to save up enough money. We start to sell enough kidneys. We can afford a PlaneWave 1000. Somehow, that's a lot of kidneys to sell. We have to move up to something bigger. It's not all the extras. That's how they get you. Here's your telescope. You can install it. Nope. See ya. You'll donate a portion of kidney. Never necessary. Always appreciated. Looking to get a DSLR soon. Son's junior year, and you want to get some quality pics next year. Next year's soccer season, but also thinking about what you might do with it on the telescope. And you know, I used the DSLR for quite a long time. And if you take your proper subframes and are diligent with all of with all your calibration frames, a DSLR is still going to serve you well. It is just a matter of calibration frames. That is the key thing, because I did with my image of the Orion Nebula, like the first image I ever did. I took my calibration frames and I shot it at. Is this a reprocess, or am I just? Yeah, I shot this at 12,000 ISO, but I also matched up the darks with that. It turned out incredibly smooth, even for it was like an hour and a half worth of data. And as long as you do your calibration frames, take the time. Now, I feel like in a way I am skipping some of those steps by using the cooled camera. But again, that's how I'm doing things. You'd heard about the light and darks. Didn't know that they were that important, but you watched some more vids. They are they're ridiculous. They are very important because you will also get rid of donuts. Donuts being the bane of my existence.
I have the mustache.
Oh, it's this one. Wonderful. Hello, Lily. Hello, how are you doing? Good to see you. No, wait, this needs to be more sniveling. Hi, hey, how are you doing, Lily? Hello. Hi. Wonderful. Okay. Yes, see, the flats will take care of this vignetting, and also it'll get rid of these donuts. That's why they're very important to do, especially if you are taking these images to make a very nice astro image with them. This is just this mustache is just going all over the place. I don't know where this accent is going. Somewhere. It's going completely off the rails, that's what. Yes, I would say, Doug, check out a lot of the early videos from Astro Backyard. Why am I way over? What is... I didn't move my camera. I adjusted my height a bit. I'm way off center. Oh, wait, I'm way off center. You good? Got a new Surface Pen today, and you have a date with Wolfie tomorrow. Beautiful. Excellent. How is the Surface Pen? Is this date number 15, 12, 2? It's good to see you in here. Hopefully you all is doing very well. Knowledge like that. Number 2. Wait, no. Hold on. Number 1. Oh, yes.
Astro Backyard's early videos, where he is mainly using DSLR cameras, is a great resource. Also, who else does a lot of the working with? I think if you check out Nebula Photos, Nico Carver, he has some good tips on for using the DSLR, and especially with like some of the smaller rigs as well. You don't really know what to do with the Surface Pen yet. You have no idea what to do, what you're doing with digital art. Just have fun with it. Just have some fun, and then kind of explore some tutorial videos. Just fart around with things. I think that's the most important thing you can do, is just to get lost in whatever kind of new project you're doing. Unless of course you are doing Pixinsight, where you definitely need the assistance of Astro Caleb. You watched a bit of Alan Wallace as well as Backyard. Yeah, there are a lot of I think Sean Nielsen, Visible Dark. He has some DSLR tips on there on his YouTube video as well. Right now, my YouTube video is VODs, and hopefully tomorrow, our smashing the full video of us smashing our Lego space shuttle. If that should be going up tomorrow. Discord, show your image. Has the photo annotated by Pixinsight. All right. Before we go over to that, slow motion of the space shuttle dropping for eyes only on this stream. Over to Discord. So I will have the full dramatic video aiming for tomorrow. Oh, very nice. And this is already a tool that is in Pixinsight. Is this one of yours, Ark? What camera are you using to get that lens flare? You have a video. What do you got a video of? Yes, built into Pixinsight. Very nice. All right, awesome. Well, I don't know. It could happen. Yeah, we did have. It looks like a 135 millimeter of some description. It does look nice, though. It does look really nice. Ooh. Oh, do we not want to show it then? If you don't have the copyright, I could stop. That does look very nice. It looks like a step down lens when it's not fully open that causes the diffraction pattern. Oh, it's gone. All right, we have some limited edition things on here. No, that's cool. No, I appreciate you guys sharing images, even if it is. Oh wait, I was reading Fork and Arc. Your colors are very similar. I thought that. No, I get Arc. I get that. Okay, that is fine. But I thought we couldn't watch that. But that looks really cool. This is beautiful. Now, was that other image we were looking at before? Was that was it on here? Of what looked like there was a tri-band or a tri-Batnoff mask? Or is it somewhere else? All right, so for tomorrow, we will be aiming to build a set that isn't going to take much longer than a stream. That's what we're aiming to do. Or it's going to be no more than 2, because there was a long stretch with the space shuttle. And I think it is something that we would do to just have a quick resolution. Now, this goal here, this is going to be lasting until, like I said, until March 6th. Tri-bath shower. You take a bath, you take a shower, and then you go run around the garden in the sprinkler. That's your tri-bath. So we have this goal that's going to go up until the 5th of March, and I guess I should probably put that ends on there. We have met our sub goal, and I appreciate it very, very much, which we will be getting the license for Pixinsight once this payout comes through, and that is going to line up just fine with the 45-day free trial we have with Pixinsight. There is tons of work to do in here to really become familiar with all the processes. Combining the LRGB image for Centaurus A, and I appreciate Caleb sending that data over. It looks absolutely incredible. I just love that the star colors, like, pretty much right away. Like, we're not faffing about with a great deal of color calibration. I do look forward to bringing in some of the previous images that we have stacked to see how much better we can make them look. Atomic, how you doing? Welcome. How you doing tonight? So we'll bring in some of our color images. So this was made off of 4 different data sets. Back to studying Pixinsight. Get at it. There is a wealth of information online as well, and to say that anybody is a complete master of Pixinsight means that they are like the creator, and even then, I don't even know. Are you doing well? Excellent. I'm doing fantastic on a Saturday evening, doing some image processing and diving into Pixinsight, which we haven't done in quite a while, and this is going to be our main source of image processing for the future. So I better get used to it. I better, what do the kids say? You got to get good. So we may as well attempt to do that with Pixinsight. I doubt anyone in Pixinsight knows all the tools in Pixinsight. It's just the fact that some of them don't even make sense. It isn't as intuitive, so you really need to get in there and get into the meat and potatoes of this whole project. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm probably going to forget to save these images. But I mean, the StarNet 2 does a fantastic job. I think that's tremendous. So good to know that it works. I imagine there is going to be a limiting factor. A lot of the images with the RC scope, I'll give it a shot just to see how it will handle it. But if it isn't going to handle the coma, it's not going to handle diffraction spikes. Unless it does, and I'm completely mistaken. And fine with that. So tomorrow morning, we're going to be back building a new Lego set, and I will aim to have something that we will do in one stream. We'll see. Do you take the cliches by yourself? don't know. Let's try annotating that burger galaxy with stars. How does the annotation work? Be processes, all processes, annotation. Can we just oh, you can pick the font. Sorry for using bad. No, cliche is not a bad word. Cliche is just a turn of phrase that has constantly been repeated over time. And actually, the history of the cliche is that the printing machine that made the sound, or that would copy, it would make the sound that sounded like cliche. So that's where you get it isn't the foreign language. That the cliche is just the onomatopoeia of the sound that the thing made. Anyway, way off. Anyway, yeah, this image that we did today, this one was taken by our friend Astro Caleb. He is in Australia, so this is a target that is seen from the southern hemisphere. I'm in the northern hemisphere. I am in southwestern Ontario, Canada, and this image I did take by myself. This was our collection of images of the Christmas tree cluster that was taken over a few nights and processed on stream, and trying out some other processes within this program to get rid of the stars, try to bring out more details. And it's Jason just adding the words on it. All right, so I can just drag let me just do this. Did that do anything? Nothing happened. Script, image analysis, image solver. Okay. Script, image analysis, image solver. Nope. Lone Mountain Knife Company, how you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Search, insert object name. Is it within here? A cliche in French is both a stereotype and a picture according to context, which is why you did the mistake. Sorry, but no worries. Right side. Search. Object identifier. Not found. What is the designation? NGC or is it IC? You gotta go official names. Uh, 15 Monoceros. Try that. Excuse me. Okay, so now I can... Nope. All right. Clearly, I'm jumping steps, and this is not working. Do I need advanced parameters? Model parameters. Automatic catalog. Limiting magnitude. Oh, that's what I went to the wrong one. That's not the search. This is not 15 Monoceros. Insert the focal length and the pixel size. Wee. for Centaurus A. So what would you say is your favorite object to watch in the universe? I've been asked this before, and it sounds like it is almost a default go-to answer. But I have to say it is indeed the Orion Nebula. It's one of those targets that is like fantastic for people who are brand new to astrophotography and those who've been taking astro images for years, because there's so much detail you can get. If the answer isn't your mother, no. It is the Orion Nebula. It's one of those targets that you can see it with your own meat cameras. You can look at it with your naked eyes, and you'll see a faint fuzzy glow with that. And you take some long exposures on here, you can get some fantastic details. You can go deep field on this one. You can go, deep sky. You can go wide field on Orion, and you know what? It really isn't going to disappoint because there's so much to see. And the more time you can put in a lot of these targets, the more details you're going to resolve out of your images. And this was about 45 minutes of stacked images for this target. Just being able to spend more time on Orion. And also, we don't have a lot of light pollution in this area, so we aren't dealing with a lot of external factors that can impact the images. It was nice and clear, and you just kind of stood in your back porch and stared at it. It's beautiful. Like we got some binoculars as well. Again, the collection of optics that have been brought together, it's just fantastic to look at. And yeah, I definitely want to spend more time on these targets. I think the big factor that will come into play is adding more tools to our arsenal, taking images of outer space. There is the option, the looking forward to the budget, where we want to be able to add a monochrome camera into this setup. And yes, utilizing some monochrome images and trying out a monochrome camera, we're getting so much better results from those. So yeah, that is that's one of the goals that we want to have down the line for all of what we're doing here. And right now, I mean, what has turned on me is the weather, and the fact that it is it's still clear outside. For how long? I don't know. But you can see, look how bright it is as well. Like we're at 88% full moon. We're at 88% moon. So it is going to be relatively difficult to get any meaningful data right now, because I also don't know how long this clear sky is going to last. It could be all night. It may not be. Maybe we have this little pocket that's also minus 21 degrees Celsius right now. So it is also very freaking cold. The next possible night that we might actually have will be Tuesday night. But again, that's 100% as a full moon, as a complete full moon on Tuesday. Don't worry, the clouds will come back when the new moon comes. Exactly. Of course they will. So this is, or at least how the forecast is going within clear outside. Like we have, I'm trying to remain optimistic. Now it says Monday, but that's going to be Tuesday. That if this weather clear skies might push a little bit, because right now, like this is what it says, that we want green. It's come up red. So sometimes clear outside is right, sometimes it's wrong. We gambled, took the chance, and unfortunately, it has been largely clear for the whole night, which is a little annoying, because we would like to be imaging more than anything. But also, this did give us a chance to try out Pixinsight, and I gotta say, I'm happy with how things have been turning out with this. I will be using it throughout the week, just getting a little more well versed in the language and with the settings, so we can start to put some images together and just see how they're going to turn out. Maybe we can get some better data, better utilize the data to punch those images up and make them look a little prettier than what we have in the past. Isn't it ironic that you get more imaging done in the UK when there's more rain? It feels like that. It feels like we had more clear skies in the UK. Now, I am hoping that the weather later on is going to play in our favor, because it is the better part is that you look at the annual darkness where I am now, we will still get astronomical DAC. Where did that come from? We'll still get astronomical dark during the summer months, whereas when I was in the UK, we had nautical dark at most, and there was maybe 3 hours that I have this little window at about maybe like 12 till 2 in the morning that I would really have before the sky started lightening up. So at least now we'll have I think it's about 5 hours at least of astronomical dark throughout the summer. Maybe a little less, maybe like 4. Still, I think that's fine to pick a target and utilize that time there. That's why I said nope, plus moon, at least for you, as the dead center of the sky in the zenith for a few hours, and then there's no reason to image below 35 degrees for the light pollution, above 35 degrees from the moon. And we have snow, so it is it's coming down, it's coming back up, it is all over the place. And we did image. Right now it wouldn't take much to switch out the filter. However, imaging M78 in a new moon, this is what we get. Image M78 with a full moon, this is what we get. The exact same setup, exact same exposure time, and it is like completely washed out. So yeah, definitely probably throw in a narrowband filter, but it's still not going to net us the results that we would like to see. And the snow just kind of doubles down on everything. So that is the slight issues that we have. So I'm not too fussed. I was glad to get some time in Pixinsight and learn more of the tools, because it's going to be our go-to program for quite a while. We'll still dabble with some other programs, and not to say that maybe down the line we'll end up getting a license for AstroPixel processor and utilizing some of the different features within that may do things a little better. Same thing with Pixinsight, is going to do things a little better than APP, but they're also going to do so much better than Photoshop for us. So at least that will kind of give us a little more incentive to add more time at the end of the night to pick a target, gather up the data, and get some more interesting images of outer space looking more beautiful than they already do. So tomorrow morning, we'll be back, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, building a new Lego set. And I'm looking forward to building this one. Actually, it's been a while since we unveiled it. And then hopefully it won't take too long. Like I said, I'm going to aim for something less than 2 streams. Or just 2 streams at most. Because the space shuttle was a long stretch. So I think it is important that we keep things a little tighter, perhaps, so that we can have a nice finished build and just kind of admire some completed works. And we won't be smashing this one. At least that's not on the cards right now. It's not to say this is the last time we're going to smash a Lego set, but I think everything worked out that this ended up being fairly special to see the results of the Space Shuttle Discovery just absolutely shattering everywhere. But for now, you mean you'll pull out the C8 for the kid, let him burn his meat camera on the moon? I mean, it's still nice to look at the moon. If you're visually looking at targets, go for it. It is always wonderful to check those targets out. So let's see who's doing some of the streams this evening. All right. For those of you who like to check out when we're going to be going live next, check it out in the Discord. Put some updates in there. We'll also be throwing some updates on Twitter. And those are our raid messages. For those who are subscribed, the first one is yours. For those who are not subscribed, do not worry. I got you covered. Join in on the raid if you will, please. I think we're going to go say hello to Sapience. Kind of build up to tomorrow's Lego stream. He is a Lego streamer. He has a very wonderful time in his streams as well. So please go say hello. Go say hello to Sapience. We're going to start the Lego vibes early, late, depends on where you are, what time zone you're in.
Potatoes.
And we will look forward to seeing you on.
Don't tell me how to live my life. I'm a potato.
Don't ask where that came from. I'm blaming Chaotic Neutral D. I'm blaming you for that one. Where? Oh boy. Actually, did I drop you a shout out there earlier? Lone Mountain Knife. Go check them out. You'll see some time in the forge. You'll see what resources you can send regarding Pixinsight. I appreciate that very much. Was about to send you some Dylan O'Donnell videos, but some of his processes are already obsolete. No worries. You're distracted by pizza. Ooh, pizza would be good right now. No, let's get some rest. Let's go to bed. Let's send you over to Sapience. Building the Lego Ideas Sonic the Hedgehog. That one looks cool. That one, Sonic was a part of my childhood through my friends. I never had a Sega Genesis. I had a Super Nintendo. But I can't think of any way how to shoehorn that set into our streams. Now, there are a few other sets that don't quite fit the criteria, but that was chat's choice of what we were going to be purchasing. So we'll be picking some sets out to build in the future on that, but I have the idea of what we want to start building tomorrow. And I think it is kind of appropriate for a new office. So we'll leave it at that. We'll be back tomorrow morning. I appreciate everybody who has joined in the stream tonight and has spent time with us, and those who have subscribed and donated bits. It is always greatly appreciated. Again, it is never necessary, but it is always going towards improving the stream, improving our view of the night sky. So until tomorrow, I wish you a very good evening, a very good night, a very good morning. I have been Tom. I am the Astro Canuck. I'm not here to change the world. I'm here to share the universe. See you in the morning. Take care.